Today I fucked up by letting a homeless man sleep in my spare room without asking my wife. So I was driving home from a gig tonight around 11 p.m. and saw what I thought was a dead body on the side of the highway. I pulled over and walked back down the road in the dark to discover a homeless man lying on the shoulder. He was okay, just sore from a bung knee, cold and wet. I offered to give him a lift and he accepted. Chatting on the 40-mile drive back to my town, I learned that he has prostate cancer. He informed me that his older brother had lost a recent battle with the same disease and that his wife had recently died of COVID. He was hitching to a town another 2 hours away to see his estranged 17-year-old son. We discussed his homeless life and tattoo career as well as hearing how other people had helped him out with a bed or train ticket. When we arrived in the small town I live in, we drove around for a while trying to find a shelter where he could sleep. As the reality set in, I knew there was nowhere I could take him. It's cold, wet and he doesn't own a sleeping bag. Finally I say fuck it, you can stay at my house tonight. Only thing is, I didn't ask my wife first. She got up when she heard me talking in the basement, spare room is down there, and I explained the story but she isn't happy. I know in my heart I'm doing a good thing but I also know it's incredibly reckless and I'm really worried my wife won't forgive me. So now I'm sitting upstairs trying to stay awake all night so the homeless guy in my basement doesn't sneak upstairs to murder my family. Okay, here's the Update 1. Front page of Reddit? Oh, for the want of a throwaway account. Firstly, thank you to everyone that tore me a new asshole. Feeling thoroughly reamed. And thank you for the awards. To the anonymous Redditor who reached out to r. Reddit Care Resources, on my behalf, a heartfelt thank you to you too. My wife got up and apologized to ME for some reason and started putting together a care package for him. Of course I told her that I'm the one that needs to apologize and that I'm a giant fucking idiot. As many of you have also stated, she can understand that my intentions were good but reckless. She is an avid Redditor and I suspected she would see this post so I told her about it. I was hoping some of the funnier comments would help lighten the mood. Mr. Peanut did the trick. Thank you, Asteroth. But the comments targeting her really stung. The takeaway from this post isn't, I did a good thing and now my wife is punishing me for it, far from it. The fuck up is the damage I've done to her trust and feelings of personal safety and the emotional toll that it's taking on her. And let me just state, my wife is the best person in the world. She never gives me crap even when it's deserved. She's super supportive of me and has tolerated a lot of my dumb shit. To everyone calling her out for being heartless, politely go fuck yourself. I appreciate that you have my back but that doesn't make her the villain in this story. Right now she's upset, scared and feeling all manner of emotions. I took a lot of your advice to heart and I'm in the process of trying to mend everything, which so far has amounted to countless apologies and promises. And #X200B. Now on to morning. The spare room has 2 French doors that are pretty hard to pull open. As a result, Tim got up to use the bathroom, couldn't open the doors, assumed he was locked in and had a little accident just as I was opening them. So there was some urine, but it wasn't malicious as some feared. Got him in the shower and his clothes in the laundry. Gave him some spare clothes. Made him some coffee and breakfast, an English muffin with honey for those that asked. Chatted about his family and V8 muscle cars for a while. Names and stories were consistent, though I will admit some of you made me question the validity of his previous claims, which is clearly in conflict with my carefree, trusting nature. Booked him a one-way Greyhound ticket before driving him to the local DHS office to get a new food stamp card. His last one was stolen and the balance wiped clean. I could have said, stolen in quotation marks, but I'm giving Tim the benefit of the doubt cause you know, saint and all. Packed him up with non-perishable snacks, nuts, raisins etc. Band-aids, vitamins, jacket, blanket and a newish backpack. It sounds generous but it was mostly stuff I got for free, promoed not pilfered, from my old job and didn't need. Picked up some peanut butter espresso smoothies and headed to the bus stop. He had time to kill, plenty if you count the previous 10 hours, so I left him with $40. That I would have just spent on weed, so STFU, on a covered bench nearby and returned home to track the progress of the bus. Noticing it was delayed and I must admit, to make sure he was still there, I drove back to the bus stop just as the bus was pulling in behind me. He was already waiting with his gear at the stop as I pulled up and said a final farewell. So to the people that praised what I did, thank you, but I'm not an entirely trusting person. I still stayed up all night anxious and doubting my decision, still haven't slept or eaten anything solid. I still made sure to keep valuables on me or within view. I even double-checked that he got on the bus. But where was all this suspicion and caution when you made the decision to let him stay? I hear you ask. I had those fears and suspicions. I also had a human sitting in my car at midnight with nothing warm and nowhere to sleep, and so I made a pained but poorly rushed decision that hopefully won't return to bite me in the ass. As far as I can tell, nothing was stolen. Too long did not read. Picked up a homeless person and let him stay in my home without consulting my wife first or considering her safety, putting her in potential danger and irreparably harming my marriage in the process. And #X200B. And #X200B. Don't worry, I'm not a stabbing hobo, I'm a singing hobo. Ooh, nothing beats the hobo life, stabbing people with my hobo knife. Come back tomorrow with the end of the story, if you survive, op. Not going over that with your wife in advance is a good way for you to become homeless. I've put people up in hotel rooms before but would never bring anyone home. Wife would not be happy lol. My roommate let a homeless person take a shower at our place without asking me once. We were robbed the next week. Not saying this is going to happen to you, but you should definitely be careful. Hope everything turned out alright, op. You still alive, op? Today I fucked up by spraying AFRIN nasal spray up my penis. So I know y'all are confused as to why I do that. So I'ma explain what my logic was, then I'll explain why it didn't work. I thought that, since it clears up your nose so well, maybe it would clear up the penis in a similar way, as in widen the inside of the urethra so cum could shoot out with less resistance. Basically I wanted to make some epic cum shots. Turns out, it doesn't work that way at all. I found out later how AFRIN works, while doing some research on it. When you get sick, what happens is the blood vessels in the lining of your nose get inflamed, they get bigger. AFRIN works as a vasoconstrictor, that means it constricts your blood vessels, makes them smaller, which is why it clears your nose up so well. Now here's how a male erection works. Blood flows into your penis, engorging your blood vessels, which is what causes the erection. Your penis is full of blood. Now do you see where I'm going with this? What do you think would happen if I vasoconstricted my penis? Me and my girlfriend were gonna have sex. I went into the bathroom, and sprayed the nasal spray up my dick. I was gonna try to surprise my girlfriend with some super intense and strong cum shots. What ended up happening instead, was I couldn't get hard. Well, no surprise there, my blood vessels were constricted from the AFRIN. My girlfriend is a very sweet person, and a very understanding person. I apologized to her for not being able to get hard, then she said it was fine and asked me if everything is okay? If I'm anxious or nervous about anything. I decided to tell her the truth, and that I sprayed AFRIN nasal spray up my penis. I said before that she's an understanding person, and she is, but this was enough to perplex her. She just looked at me with the most confused look on her face. She was like, "What the fuck, bruh?" I explained how I wanted to cum further. She just burst out laughing, and was like, "That's not how that works." She proceeded to tease me more about it throughout the night. I don't think I'm gonna live this one down. Don't use nasal spray in your dick, guys. And girls too, I don't imagine that it would do anything good in the vagina either. Too long did not read. Sprayed AFRIN nasal spray into my penis, couldn't get hard. Girlfriend was perplexed as to why I'd try that to begin with. Didn't have sex, and she's still teasing me about it. My ego is now as small as my penis. So I know y'all are confused as to why I do that. Nope. No confusion. I was pretty sure it was because you're a dumbass. Keeps reading. Yup. Dumbass. Bruh, for real? Why not Google this shit before trying it? Don't use things on your dick that aren't meant for it. Op has earned an honorary membership to R. Don't put that in your dick. Dude. You know what make DCKS thicker? Bee sting. Why don't you put your peen on a bee nest? Lol. You logic makes no sense, and it meant for noses for a reason, haha. I thought that, since it clears up your nose. Should I continue reading this? Maybe it would clear up the penis in a similar way, as in widen the inside of the urethra so cum could shoot out with less resistance. What in the hell? GIF. Giphy. LYJ6KPLRFDKNK. No way this is true, this is dumb as shit op. Today I fucked up by trying to kiss my brother's boyfriend. I, 17, have a brother, 16, who has a best friend, 17. I'll call this best friend Peter. Not like he'd be fooled to think this was someone else if he stumbled across this post. I've had a crush on Peter ever since my brother became friends with him. It doesn't hurt that his personality is just as great as his looks are. He's got the whole kind of a jerk with a heart of gold thing going for him. A few days ago my brother invited Peter over and I decided that it was now or never. I went go sit on the couch with Peter while my brother went to Walmart to grab something. I'm not sure what. Long story short, we got to talking. I put my hand on his knee, he smiled awkwardly at me, and then I tried to kiss him. Tried, being the key word here, because he immediately jolted back. My feelings went from hurt to offended in 0.2 seconds and the first thing I asked was, "What? Am I not pretty enough for you?" Which was probably the wrong thing to say. Peter smiled at me again and told me that I was plenty pretty. It was just that he was already dating someone. Immediately, I felt like shit. I apologized and asked who. The same guy who's about to walk through that door. And that's how I found out that one. My brother is either gay or bi, no judgment here. I'm happy for him and if our parents knew they'd be happy too and too. My crush is dating him. One thing is for sure, I hope to God my brother never finds out about this, and if he does, that he finds this as funny as I do now. Too long did not read. I found out my brother is dating his best friend by trying to kiss said best friend, who let me down gently. Tell your brother he has good taste in men. It's kind of sweet, but maybe try to not give someone shit when they decide they're not up for some physical affection. I get it's embarrassing, but it's not cool. He definitely was told by his boyfriend. There is a social commentary piece here about how a young woman essentially forces herself onto someone and is offended by the rejection. It's just too early for me to make it. My brother went to Walmart to grab something, I'm not sure what, lube. That's a pretty shitty reaction to someone jerking away from an unexpected kiss. How would you feel if some guy leaned in for a kiss from you out of the blue then asked you why he wasn't handsome enough? Today I fucked up by smoking my brains out before going to my senior pictures. Sorry for the length, but I'm high and thought about this. The ever applicable, this happened years ago, when I was about to graduate high school. I was 17 and leaving out of the house to go hang and crash at one of my old friend's house. He lived with his parents and we weren't allowed to smoke there, but we never got in trouble for smoking there. That is if his parents even knew. Yeah, fucking right. As I'm leaving out, my mom reminds me that my dad is going to pick me up from my friend's house, so be ready around 12 on Sunday. He was going to take me to get my graduation pictures. I hop on my bike and roll over to my friends and we proceed to get fully and absolutely fried. It was Friday night and we had put our funds together, and in addition to our usual purchase we also got some top shelf for one of the first times in our lives. Friday goes by and we're just enjoying the day, chilling, playing San Andreas on PS2 and listening to Outkast. What a time to be alive. Saturday rolls around and we proceed to try and outdo our Friday session and smoke up some more. We stay up pretty much until the sunrise playing games and music and smoking on our usual pack. We totally forgot about the top shelf bud we bought. We decide we'll smoke it the next day while we're kicking it before I ride my bike home. Here's where the fuck up happens. We wake up the next morning like 10-11-ish or so and roll all of the top shelf into one big ol' broken middle finger swollen sized blunt. And we smoked it. And we got high. Really high. And then I got a phone call. Ross ta gull, I'm outside. Hurry up, we have to take you to get your pictures taken. At that moment I knew I fucked up. I run to look in the mirror and my eyes were shut. Like fuck if I know if they were red or not, I couldn't see them. I gather myself best I can with the good ol' "Do I look high?" to the other high person, accompanied by Axe body spray and eye drops, and prepare to go face my imminent doom. I walk out of my friend's house and hop in the car with my dad. He greets me normally and nothing out of the ordinary happens the entire car ride. We get to the photography studio and everything is going great. I'm zoot ed and feeling good until the photographer yells, "Why don't you open your eyes? How high are you?" I absolutely lose it and he snaps a picture of me with a huge shut-eyes smile. My dad gives me the look but never says anything. Weeks go by, I forget about the incident until one day I walk into my parents' house and there's this picture. This fucking picture of me, the highest I had been in my life up until that point. Right there on display for the world to see. My mom was so excited and happy I was graduating I don't think she even really looked at it before she got it framed and placed it right at the lamp table at the front door entrance. I remember it so vividly. I looked at my dad as my mom hugged me and he just rolled his eyes at me and chuckled. Only him and I know, but it's there for the world to see, lol. Too long did not read. I got super stoned before my graduation pictures were taken, and now my high face is immortalized in the living room entrance to my parents' house and has been for close to 2 decades. Edit. Grammar. To be fair, you look happy as fuck and way better than I did in my senior photos. Honestly, it seems like you made a solid choice. It's still there. GIF. Giphy. DTIGTEAGLRVDODTDQE. Downsized. You say you fucked up, but that, sir, is a fucking treasure for life lol. Keep in mind that Doc Ellis pitched a whole baseball game in the MLB and won while completely stoned on LSD, thinking he had the day off that day. Love this, it put a smile on my face. Picture still looks good though. Lol. This made me laugh, I absolutely love this.